my book. I wrote it started it in 1996. It's about two towns in Northern California, Mendocino. They're called Newport and Kybasilla. I was hired by Will Jackson, who wanted to write a history of the area. He has a beautiful inn called the Inn at Newport Ranch. I worked on this for almost 20 years until I finally finished at the same time that the inn was built. I started working on genealogy in 1975 when I made my first genealogy trip to Nova Scotia, and I met a couple who knew the area. They took me to the old home place was for the Parker family. I drove into the driveway and this man was getting out of a red pickup truck and he was wearing cowboy boots, and my father often drove a red pickup truck and always wore cowboy boots, and this man was the absolute image of my dad, and I knew then that I had to pursue genealogy as my lifetime interest.
You got to talk to him.
I did. I talked to him. I talked to his family, and the whole thing was quite a wonderful experience.
Since then you have only red cars.
Well, that's probably a big part of it. I love red cars.
I live in Austin, Texas. It's progressive. It's forward-thinking. It also appreciates the arts. There's nothing like that here. This is all retirement money. The ideas are retirement ideas.
Planes is coming down.
And by the way, my name's Christopher Blue, but don't look me up on the internet because I hate the damned internet. Bye.
The founder of the California Missions was Father Junipero Serra, who's from Majorca, an island off the coast of Spain. He was a professor in a university in Majorca at age 35. He answered the call to be a missionary to Mexico, to evangelize and to spread Christianity to the Native American Indians, and also to raise their standard of living. In 1602, one of the Spanish explorers' names was Vizcaino. Accompanying him were some Carmelite priests who are named after Mount Carmel in the Bible. They liked this area so much that they named it Carmel. Then Father Serra landed with the Spanish military who were going to Monterrey to build the Presidio, the fort. The Spanish officials were not so nice to some of the native indigenous American Indians here, so Father Serra moved the mission from Monterrey to Carmel, a few miles away, to get away from the Spanish military. All of the artwork that you see here in the church is original. It's from Mexico. In the early 1800s, Mexico became free of Spain. They secularized all the missions, which means they made it government property of Mexico. They sold off the cattle and land, and this poor church became a ruins. In 1845, it was abandoned. All the beautiful artwork was removed from the church before the roof collapsed and stored in other churches in Monterey and private homes in Carmel. In 1880, a roof was put back on and the church was gradually restored, and all the artwork that had been removed from the church all came back. This is Father Serra's grave right here. He's one of the 8 saints buried in the U.S. When they exhumed his body in the 1940s to identify his remains, the casket had fallen apart, and it was over 200 years old. So we kept the boards of his original casket, placed him back in his grave. He's buried there now in a metal copper casket. He was a very loving person who gave up half his life to minister to the poor when he could have sat back and had been a professor in a university. So he was very self-sacrificing.
In my off time, I'm a doll artist. I guess you call it that. I collect dolls and I make dolls. I collect weird dolls. They have to have some personality. If they don't have a personality, I'm not terribly much interested in them. And since I can't find very many dolls with personality, I make them myself. During COVID, I made 14 dolls, all hand stitched because I had no sewing machine, but it was so much fun. My dad was is a retired military officer. He grew up traveling all over the world as a military family. And whenever we transferred, we had to give away our toys. And because we have to travel light. So then we have to start over again when we get to the next place. And my favorite thing to do is probably go shopping for a doll. Sometimes I'll give away a doll. I did make a doll for a lady just recently I was very excited about. All of the materials were made from dresses that her grandma left her. I love to take the old Hollywood golden age, the It Girl. I did Betty Davis. Clara Bow was one of them. Well, I did an aviator. I call her Amelia, but she's not exactly Amelia Earhart. Someday, my kids will have a big yard sale or put them in an antique store or something along those lines. But, you know, to add a little age to them, you gotta say Grandma made them. So. But I'm not the only collector in the family. My husband collects military patches and military memorabilia. We have a 3-bedroom house, bath and a half, 2 grandchildren living with us, and no room. Oh, and 4 dogs, 4 cats, 3 lizards. Yeah.
And how many dolls?
Oh, I don't know. I'd be afraid to count. I remember writing stories when I was a child. I'm 71 years old now, and I think the last time I wrote a story is probably a few years ago. You know, but now, you know, other things are getting my attention. I wrote romance novels for myself because I couldn't find romance novels that I like. I like to be able to change an ending. Sometimes things happen in life that you can't change. You can't go back. So here I can say I don't like the way this turned. I can tear off that page and start another page and be okay. So that's why I like to write my own stories. And I try to keep it clean because I'm a Christian, okay?